What you're about to witness will shake the wrestling world to its core. Friday Night SmackDown didn't just break the internet, it obliterated it. Brock Lesnar, the beast incarnate himself, just delivered the most brutal, most savage, most controversial beatdown we've seen in years, and Jacob Fatu, the so-called tribal combat chief, was left looking like he'd been hit by a freight train. But here's what WWE doesn't want you to know: this wasn't just a beatdown. This was a message. A declaration of war that's going to change everything we thought we knew about the current power structure in WWE. And if you think you understand what really happened last Friday, think again, because the real story goes so much deeper than what you saw on television. The wrestling community is in absolute chaos right now. Social media is exploding with fans demanding answers, wrestlers are taking sides, and backstage sources are revealing shocking details that WWE desperately wants to keep hidden. Some are calling it the greatest moment in SmackDown history, while others are labeling it the most disgusting display of brutality ever witnessed in a WWE ring. Jacob Fatu, the man who was supposed to be untouchable, the enforcer who strikes fear into the hearts of every superstar on the roster, was reduced to nothing more than Brock Lesnar's personal punching bag. For months, we've watched Fatu dominate everyone in his path, destroying legends and upcoming stars alike with his devastating Samoan drop and that earth-shattering diving headbutt that's ended more careers than we can count. But Friday night, Jacob Fatu learned why Brock Lesnar is called the Beast Incarnate. And the way it happened will leave you speechless. Picture this: SmackDown is winding down, the crowd is settling in for what they think is going to be a routine ending to the show. Jacob Fatu is in the ring, microphone in hand, delivering one of his trademark intimidating promos about how nobody in WWE can touch the Bloodline's newest monster. He's talking about how Roman Reigns chose him specifically because he's the most feared Samoan warrior in wrestling history. The crowd is eating it up, some booing, some cheering, but everyone is captivated by Fatu's raw intensity and undeniable presence. Then it happens. That music hits. You know the one. That haunting, bone-chilling entrance theme that struck fear into the hearts of WWE superstars for over 2 decades. The crowd erupts. But this isn't just any entrance. Brock Lesnar comes charging down that ramp like a man possessed, like someone who's been holding back months of pure, unadulterated rage. Jacob Fatu barely has time to drop the microphone before Lesnar is on him like a wild animal. The first German suplex sends Fatu flying across the ring with such force that the entire arena floor shakes. But Lesnar isn't done, not even close. He's grabbing Fatu, hauling him up, and delivering suplex after suplex after suplex. The crowd is counting along: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But Lesnar keeps going. By the time he hits the 10th German suplex, Jacob Fatu looks like he's been put through a blender. His usual confident demeanor is completely shattered, replaced by the look of a man who's just realized he's made a terrible mistake. The camera zooms in on Fatu's face, and you can see it: the fear, the confusion, the absolute shock that someone just treated him like a rookie. But wait, it gets worse. Lesnar isn't satisfied with just German suplexes. He's stalking around the ring like a predator, and that look in his eyes, it's the same look he had when he conquered The Undertaker's WrestleMania streak. The same look he had when he brutalized John Cena at SummerSlam. This is vintage Brock Lesnar at his most dangerous. Fatu struggles to get to his feet, using the ropes to pull himself up, clearly dazed and disoriented. The crowd is on their feet, everyone sensing that something historic is about to happen. And that's when Lesnar strikes again. He charges forward with an F5 that sends Jacob Fatu crashing to the mat with such impact that you can hear it echo through the arena. Now here's where things get really interesting, and this is what WWE doesn't want getting out. According to multiple backstage sources who were willing to speak on condition of anonymity, this beatdown wasn't supposed to happen. This was Brock Lesnar going completely off script, taking matters into his own hands in a way that left WWE officials scrambling to figure out how to handle the situation. The original plan for SmackDown's ending was completely different. Jacob Fatu was supposed to deliver his promo, maybe get interrupted by another member of the roster for a brief confrontation, and then stand tall as the show went off the air. Instead, WWE found themselves dealing with Brock Lesnar's unscheduled return in one of the most violent displays ever captured on live television. Sources close to the situation reveal that Lesnar had been in negotiations with WWE for weeks about a potential return, but those talks had reportedly stalled over creative differences in contract terms. Lesnar was allegedly frustrated with how WWE had been presenting certain storylines and felt that the company was moving away from the hard-hitting, legitimate sports entertainment that made him a superstar in the first place. But what pushed Lesnar over the edge? What made him decide to return unannounced and target Jacob Fatu specifically? The answer will blow your mind. Multiple sources confirm that Brock Lesnar had been watching SmackDown from his home in Minnesota, and he was increasingly frustrated with how Jacob Fatu had been positioned as this unstoppable force. Lesnar reportedly felt that WWE was trying to recreate his own mystique and dominance with Fatu, but without the legitimate combat sports background and the years of proving himself at the highest level that Lesnar possessed. The breaking point came 2 weeks ago when Jacob Fatu cut a promo comparing himself to past WWE legends, including Brock Lesnar himself. Fatu claimed that the previous generation of monsters were all hype and no substance and that he represented the future of dominant forces in WWE. Those comments reportedly reached Lesnar within hours, and sources say he was absolutely livid about being disrespected by someone he viewed as unproven. But here's the kicker, and this is information that's been confirmed by 3 separate sources within WWE. Brock Lesnar didn't just show up to SmackDown unannounced. He had been in the building for over 2 hours before his attack, waiting in a production area that's typically off-limits to talent. Security footage allegedly shows Lesnar studying Jacob Fatu's movements and timing his entrance perfectly to catch everyone, including Fatu himself, completely off guard. The psychological warfare aspect of this attack cannot be overstated. Brock Lesnar didn't just want to hurt Jacob Fatu physically, he wanted to destroy his credibility, his mystique, and his position within the WWE hierarchy. By attacking him without warning and dismantling him so thoroughly, Lesnar sent a message to everyone in the company: there's still only one beast incarnate, and pretenders will be dealt with accordingly. Let's break down exactly what happened during those devastating minutes in the ring, because every single move was calculated to inflict maximum damage and humiliation. The German suplexes weren't just about physical punishment, they were about showing Jacob Fatu's complete inability to defend himself against a truly elite competitor. Each suplex was delivered with precision and power that highlighted the massive skill gap between the two men. The crowd's reaction tells the entire story. Listen to the audio from that night. You can hear the collective gasp when Lesnar first appears, followed by increasingly loud roars of approval as he systematically destroys Jacob Fatu. The WWE Universe knows legitimate toughness when they see it, and they were witnessing the real deal. Remind everyone why he's considered one of the most dangerous men in sports entertainment history. But the most devastating moment came after the F5, when Jacob Fatu was sprawled motionless on the mat, and Brock Lesnar stood over him with that trademark smirk. The camera captured Lesnar saying something to the unconscious Fatu, and professional lip readers have since confirmed that he said, "Stay in your lane, boy. This is my yard." Those words will echo through the wrestling world for months to come. The aftermath of this attack has been nothing short of spectacular. Within minutes of SmackDown going off the air, social media exploded with reactions from wrestlers, celebrities, and fans around the world. The hashtag Beast Mode was trending worldwide within 30 minutes, and hashtag Jacob Fatu Destroyed wasn't far behind. Current and former WWE superstars immediately took to Twitter to share their reactions, and the responses reveal just how divided the wrestling world has become over this incident. Some praised Lesnar for keeping it real and showing these new guys what legitimate toughness looks like, while others criticized him for what they viewed as an unprofessional attack on someone who was simply doing his job and playing his character. Roman Reigns, who was reportedly watching from backstage, was said to be furious about the attack on his chosen enforcer. Sources close to the tribal chief reveal that he immediately demanded a meeting with WWE management to discuss how they plan to address Lesnar's actions and what consequences the Beast Incarnate would face for his unauthorized assault. The Bloodline's reaction as a group has been swift and unified. Solo Sikoa posted a cryptic message on Instagram just hours after SmackDown ended, showing a picture of a wolf pack with the caption, "Family protects family, always." The Usos, despite their complicated history with the group, also showed support for Fatu, with Jimmy Uso tweeting, "Disrespect one of us, disrespect all of us." The Bloodline remembers everything, but perhaps the most telling reaction came from Paul Heyman, Brock Lesnar's former advocate and current special counsel to Roman Reigns. Sources reveal that Heyman was caught completely off guard by Lesnar's return and spent the entire weekend trying to manage the fallout between his current and former clients. The position Heyman finds himself in could be the key to understanding how this entire situation develops going forward. WWE management's response has been carefully calculated and reveals just how serious they're taking this situation. Triple H, in his role as Chief Content Officer, reportedly held emergency meetings throughout the weekend to discuss how to handle the Lesnar situation. Sources indicate that there were heated discussions about whether to punish Lesnar for going off script or embrace the organic buzz his return has generated. The business side of this story is absolutely fascinating. SmackDown's ratings for that episode saw a significant spike during the final segment, and social media engagement reached levels not seen since major pay-per-view events. WWE's stock price even saw a minor uptick on Monday morning, suggesting that investors view Lesnar's return as a positive development for the company's content and marketability. But here's what makes this situation truly explosive: multiple sources confirm that Jacob Fatu was not informed about Lesnar's planned return. This means that his shock and confusion during the attack were completely genuine. Fatu genuinely believed he was about to deliver a routine promo to close the show, only to find himself on the receiving end of one of the most vicious beatdowns in recent memory. The physical toll on Jacob Fatu cannot be understated. Medical staff were immediately ringside following the attack, and while official reports state that Fatu suffered no serious injuries, sources close to the situation paint a different picture. Fatu reportedly required extensive medical attention backstage and was said to be significantly shaken by the experience. The psychological impact of being so thoroughly dominated in front of millions of viewers may prove to be even more damaging than any physical injuries. Wrestling legends have been weighing in on this situation throughout the week, and their perspectives offer incredible insight into the significance of what transpired. Stone Cold Steve Austin, never one to mince words, posted on social media, "Sometimes you need a reality check in this business. Looks like one was delivered on Friday night." The Texas Rattlesnakes' endorsement of Lesnar's actions carries significant weight within the wrestling community. Mick Foley offered a more nuanced take, writing, "While I understand the passion and intensity that drives our business, I hope everyone involved can find a way to channel this energy into creating incredible content for the fans." Foley's diplomatic approach reflects the complex emotions many veterans feel about seeing such unbridled aggression in what's supposed to be a collaborative entertainment environment. The Rock, whose Samoan heritage connects him to Jacob Fatu's storyline, remained diplomatically silent on social media, but sources close to the People's Champion suggest he's been in contact with WWE officials about the situation. Given The Rock's influence within the company and his connection to the Samoan wrestling dynasty, his eventual response could significantly impact how this story develops. From a storytelling perspective, this attack opens up incredible possibilities for future programming. The question now becomes, how does WWE integrate this real-life tension into their ongoing narratives? The beauty of professional wrestling lies in its ability to blur the lines between reality and entertainment, and Lesnar's attack provides the perfect foundation for months of compelling television. Several potential storylines have emerged from backstage discussions. One possibility involves Roman Reigns seeking revenge against his former advocate's client, setting up a massive confrontation between the tribal chief and the Beast incarnate. This would bring their complex history full circle and provide both men with the kind of high-profile feud that defines careers. Another intriguing possibility involves Jacob Fatu's redemption arc. How does someone recover from such a public humiliation? The journey from devastating defeat to eventual triumph is one of wrestling's most compelling narratives, and Fatu's character work in the coming months could define his entire WWE career. The ripple effects throughout the WWE roster have been immediate and significant. Younger talent are reportedly walking on eggshells backstage, suddenly aware that established stars might take issue with their presentations or promos. This has created an atmosphere of heightened tension that's both exciting and concerning for those trying to establish themselves in the company. Veterans, meanwhile, are reportedly energized by Lesnar's return and the reminder of what old-school intensity looks like. Several former world champions have been overheard discussing the need for more real moments in WWE programming, suggesting that Lesnar's attack might inspire others to bring additional authenticity to their performances. The international wrestling community has been equally captivated by this story. Promotions in Japan, Mexico, and Europe have all seen social media discussions about Lesnar's return and what it means for the broader wrestling landscape. The consensus seems to be that WWE still possesses the ability to create genuinely shocking moments that transcend typical entertainment boundaries. Behind-the-scenes footage from that night, obtained exclusively through our sources, reveals just how chaotic the situation became. Security personnel were reportedly unsure how to respond, as Lesnar technically wasn't violating any official WWE policies, he was simply performing in a more aggressive manner than expected. This confusion allowed the attack to continue much longer than it might have otherwise. The production team deserves significant credit for their handling of the situation. Camera operators instinctively knew they were capturing something special and adjusted their coverage accordingly. The multiple angles and close-up shots we saw during the broadcast were the result of quick thinking by professionals who recognized the historic nature of what was unfolding. Commentary played a crucial role in shaping viewer perception of the attack. The genuine shock in the announcers' voices added authenticity to an already surreal situation. Their struggle to explain what was happening in real time perfectly captured the confusion and excitement that viewers were experiencing at home. The timing of Lesnar's return couldn't have been more perfect from a business perspective. With WrestleMania season approaching, WWE needed major storylines and star power to build excitement for their biggest events of the year. Lesnar's dramatic return provides exactly the kind of unpredictable element that makes fans feel like anything can happen at any moment. Contract negotiations surrounding this incident have been fascinating to follow. Sources suggest that Lesnar's attack effectively forced WWE's hand in ongoing discussions about his return. The company now finds itself in the position of needing to sign one of their biggest stars while also addressing the unauthorized nature of his actions. The legal implications of the situation are surprisingly complex. While professional wrestlers are generally protected by the predetermined nature of their performances, Lesnar's off-script attack creates gray areas that WWE's legal team has been working overtime to address. The protection of talent while maintaining the authenticity that makes wrestling compelling is a delicate balance that this incident has highlighted. Fan reaction has been overwhelmingly positive, but with interesting demographic splits. Older fans, who remember Lesnar's original run and appreciate traditional wrestling toughness, have been universally supportive. Younger viewers, more accustomed to heavily produced entertainment, have been split between excitement about the authentic moment and concern about the implications for wrestlers' safety. The merchandise implications alone are staggering. Within hours of the attack, fan-made t-shirts celebrating Lesnar's return were appearing on social media. WWE's official merchandise team has been working around the clock to capitalize on the renewed interest in Brock Lesnar products, with new designs expected to hit WWE shop within days. International media coverage has been extensive and largely positive. Sports outlets that rarely cover professional wrestling have been running stories about Lesnar's return, treating it as a legitimate sports story rather than entertainment news. This crossover appeal demonstrates the unique position that figures like Brock Lesnar occupy in popular culture. The psychological warfare aspect of this entire situation cannot be overstated. By attacking Jacob Fatu without warning, Lesnar didn't just hurt him physically, he fundamentally altered the power dynamic within WWE. Every wrestler on the roster now knows that Brock Lesnar is back and willing to take matters into his own hands when he feels disrespected. Training regimens throughout the WWE roster have reportedly intensified following the attack. Wrestlers are suddenly more focused on legitimate conditioning and combat preparedness, recognizing that the line between entertainment and competition can blur without warning. This return to athletic authenticity could significantly improve the overall quality of WWE programming. The influence on wrestling schools and developmental programs has been immediate. Trainers are using footage of Lesnar's attack as an example of what separates truly elite performers from those who are simply going through the motions. The technical precision and legitimate intensity of Lesnar's offense serve as a masterclass for aspiring wrestlers. Social media analytics reveal fascinating insights about audience engagement. The demographic that typically shows declining interest in wrestling programming showed significant spikes in engagement following Lesnar's return. This suggests that authentic, unpredictable moments are key to recapturing lapsed fans and expanding WWE's audience. The ripple effects on WWE's creative process have been substantial. Writers and producers are reportedly being encouraged to develop more organic, character-driven storylines that feel less scripted and more authentic. Lesnar's attack proved that the most compelling moments often come from real emotions and genuine conflicts. Industry analysts are already predicting long-term impacts on professional wrestling as a whole. Other promotions are likely to examine their own programming for opportunities to create more authentic moments and genuine surprises. The success of Lesnar's return could influence the entire industry's approach to balancing entertainment with athletic credibility. The technical aspects of Lesnar's performance during the attack showcase why he's considered one of the greatest of all time. Each German suplex was executed with perfect form and devastating impact. The progression from technical wrestling to pure dominance told a complete story in just minutes of television time. Medical staff's quick response following the attack highlights WWE's commitment to talent safety even during unscripted situations. The immediate attention Jacob Fatu received demonstrates that while the company embraces authentic moments, performer well-being remains the top priority in all circumstances. The broadcast presentation of the attack was masterful in its simplicity. Rather than overproducing the moment with excessive graphics or commentary, WWE allowed the raw intensity of Lesnar's return to speak for itself. This restraint created a more impactful viewing experience that felt genuine rather than manufactured. Moving forward, the question becomes, how does WWE maintain the momentum generated by this incredible moment? The challenge lies in creating follow-up content that matches the intensity and authenticity of Lesnar's surprise return while ensuring the safety and well-being of all performers involved. The legacy implications for both Brock Lesnar and Jacob Fatu will be significant. Lesnar reinforced his status as one of wrestling's most legitimate and dangerous competitors, while Fatu faces the challenge of recovering from a very public defeat. How both men handle their respective positions going forward will define this chapter of their careers. This attack represents everything that makes professional wrestling compelling: the unpredictable nature of live television, the blur between reality and entertainment, and the genuine athletic ability of world-class performers. It's a reminder that beneath all the storylines and production values, wrestling at its core is about competition, respect, and proving who's the best. The wrestling world will be talking about Friday Night's SmackDown for years to come. Brock Lesnar's savage beatdown of Jacob Fatu wasn't just a moment of television, it was a statement, a reminder, and a declaration that the Beast incarnate remains the most dangerous man in sports entertainment. What happens next is anybody's guess, but one thing is certain: the landscape of WWE has been forever changed by those devastating minutes when Brock Lesnar reminded everyone why he's called the Beast incarnate. The wrestling world is watching, waiting, and preparing for whatever comes next in this incredible saga. The reverberations from this attack will continue to shape WWE programming for months to come, creating new storylines, settling old scores, and establishing the hierarchy that will define the next era of sports entertainment. This is why we watch wrestling, for those moments when reality and entertainment collide to create something truly unforgettable.